drilling for me to do. If I had been doing this on a guitar with a top as opposed to a scratch plate, I would have done all of the drilling through from the back and everything would be ready and done and ready to go. This is a scratch plated instrument, so I'm going to figure out where the holes need to go on that. And I've also realized that I haven't yet drilled the access hole for the MIDI output, which I really should have done. But then again, this guitar is now in the state in which your guitar probably is, i.e. finished and strung up, and you're playing around putting an XY MIDI pad in. So, the MIDI out takes a 15mm drill bit. I use Forstner bits because I like Forstner bits for this job, but any other 15mm bit would probably do the job just as well. Forstner or a spade bit, or a spur bit if you could find one that size. Anyhow, let us continue drilling. So just for fun, I'm going to center this on the body joint. Remember that this guitar is not a proper Crimson custom guitar. This is a kit guitar that our apprentice is upgrading, just to see how far one could take a really cheap kit. Now I don't need to go all the way through with the 15mm, because that's not so deep, although I might. Let's see how this goes. Yes, let's move some of the electronics out the way. There we go. The final control layout. This seems to take much more thought for me than most other facets of this this whole process. I've decided that I'm going to have the standard telecontrols along the bottom bit because, as I say in the article, you want to have access to the hold button as much as possible. Some people put it up here, so you can hit it with your thumb and play. I'll put it there, tap, play. It's close, and it's close enough. Now, so there we go, I'm going to have the whole button there. I'm going to have my on-off here. The thing with switches, I don't know about you, when I play guitar I beat the hell out of my guitars. I've been known to rip the neck off a Stratocaster because I'm a little bit too violent. So the same thing with the switches. If you're really playing, you want them protected. So that is going to be in between those two, and that one's behind that, so that I can't knock it on or off by mistake. It might make it a little bit more difficult to get to, but it will mean that you have to actually consciously think about turning it on or off. And finally, we've got our little rotary encoder, which will be, well, somewhere in that space, probably there, making a triangle, because you've always got to think about what these things look like, don't you? It is absolutely essential that all of the electronics are shielded. I do enjoy playing around with aluminium foil. Basic electronics installation. Gold screws this time. The only things that aren't going to be gold, unfortunately, are the switch and the button that come with the XY MIDI pad. Shielding the whole cavity as well. The last bits and pieces of very shiny, oh, this is blinding me. The afternoon sun is low in the sky, and the poor luthier cannot see his work. There we go. The last bits and pieces are in place. I'm just going to tidy up that edge because, well, we routed a very specifically sized cavity for that touch screen. And we don't want any excess foil messing that up for us now. Okay, we have worked out that 59 millimeters is where we want to be, which is 2 and something-ish, somethings of an inch. Don't ask me, I know nothing. And Jessica is my bradawl. She's one of my most used tools. And there we go. Now I know where I'm going to screw this down. I just need to pre-drill. Remember that I've got quite a lot of space to play with here. Don't forget which way you want to point your wires. Okay, in. Now the wires do sort of get a little bit in the way, but now I can slide that backwards and forwards, and if I can find my ruler and do some basic maths, 45. I can't do basic maths. 48. So that is the middle. First things first, because it's coming the furthest distance, and this brings to mind something that might be an issue to you. Ooh, I can't find. I haven't cut away my hole. It's covered with shielding. It's not good. You do need to bear in mind, if you don't want to do any soldering, and soldering is actually relatively easy, the length of your wires. You don't want your controls to be too far away. Obviously this is a plug and play system, and yes, if you put everything too far away, then you're going to have to do some soldering. Let's wire this up. It's going to be really difficult. Oh, that's wired. Excellent. Did that sound too patronizing? I love this plug and play system. I really, really do. Now that is even safer. It means that you really just cannot hit it and knock it out of the way while you're playing. Finally, the rotary encoder. We have a lot of wires here. Some of them are still wired together. Through all of this, we mustn't forget that I've got a battery to plug in, and the battery is going to be sitting in that cavity, wrapped in foam, so it actually wedges itself in. There's only 2 screws to take off, and it's not likely that somebody's going to be able to, well, screw this up. But we need to run the wires through. And this is where we need big holes. Number 1 and number 4 are rather large. And it's when you start plugging these things in that life becomes just a little bit more interesting. Number 4 and number 4. And, oh, that was a little difficult. Clicked in. Bear in mind that number 1 has the same size, so you do need to be careful that well, you get the right one in the right slot. These can vibrate in the guitar and cause rattles, so these are P-clips. I did the very first video I did about the XY MIDI pads on our YouTube channel at Crimson Guitars, well, whatever our YouTube channel is. I did a review of the product, and one of the issues I had was, well, one of the suggestions I made to them was that they put these P-clips in the kit, and they did. The power of a constructive review. So that's in there, and there's going to be less of a propensity for the hard things to rattle against each other. I want to get the control plate put down and out of the way, so I need to put my battery in. This is a sticky backed foam that I have lots of in the workshop. I could have put a battery box in, but, well, as I discussed earlier, it's more fresh in your memory than it is in mine. I didn't like the look. This is the smallest cavity we've had to do this installation for quite a while. Anyway, battery in, and it's just going to slip in there, and we're very lucky. There is no way that that's going to move, and it's going to be very easy to get out if required. There are metal clips that can go in cavities and things, but in this instance they're not absolutely necessary, so we've used that. And there we go. So that is what that is going to look like. Oh, I can't wait. It is a pity that that switch and that switch are chrome. You can't get many of these items. Oh, let's just clean that up. A little bit of the shielding has come up there. Anyway, so the final look. And there's going to be a black thing on there. How pretty. Tighten those up. Hey, we've got a battery in. Yeah. Success. No screen. Glass. Be careful. Now, this is pretty much the only place you can really screw up, but it won't destroy everything. It'll just mean you have to go back and put the ribbon back in. That little drawer there, you need a pointy thing. What a technical term. Just to pull that out as far as it goes, and it only comes out 1 millimeter. And the screen, that screen was the wrong way around. The white rectangle needs to be pointing to the back of the guitar, and that just sits in the drawer. Push it in, and then using your pointy thing, you push the drawer closed, and then that is locked in place, and you have a screen, as you can see, that is reading and sending MIDI. This is a light diffuser which has dust on it, so that goes behind the screen. What I tend to do is I push that ribbon cable in and then gently put the screen in, so that diffuses the cable. Diffuses the light. And finally, I don't suppose I need to teach you how to, put 4 screws into the top of a guitar, surely. That's almost anticlimactic. All of the preparation has left us with maybe half an hour of actual installation. The the wiring process is the easy part of this. And on the kits that I have used before I found Amtone Lab, the wiring process was nightmarishly difficult. And I can't say anything that you haven't seen already. This is much easier than it has every right to be. Well, I'm a very, very happy luthier. Now I'm going to see if I can organize a demo so you can see what this actually sounds like. And yes, let's see.